Today I'll be talking about the Milestone project for CST 135. In this project we used Java 11 and began at the conceptual phase using the Unified Modeling Language, or UML. Kind of built our outline here and found out which OOP principles we were going to be using. Turns out we actually used all of them at some point or another. And in the second portion, started creating that menu and getting certain menu items working, like the add and the delete of contacts, kind of building that address book. Going over the principles here of abstraction, inheritance, encapsulation, polymorphism. Abstraction, inheritance, referring to base contact, person contact, and business contact. Base contact being the parent, person and business being the child. Uses abstraction, also inheritance at that point. Encapsulation, just in a general term, it's using the classes in OOP. We're kind of encapsulating each one of those inside of a class, but we're also describing restricted access to components of an object. So using getters and setters. Polymorphism, meaning many forms. We use the same methods inside of base contact, and whether that was going to a person or business contact, would change the. It was used for different tasks, so it could be the same method, but we used it for different tasks. I felt like this project gave me a really solid, some really solid growth on my understanding with the principles. I don't want to spend the whole time talking about principles, but I felt like that was a big highlight of this project for me personally. All right, moving on. The second portion, second and third, finished writing all the code. And at this portion of the project, I found it hard to put down. I found myself, thinking of things, throughout the day or at night, and I'd get up and I'd want to add a note, or, I'd want to make sure that this, I had all the information here that I wanted, to maybe change a println here or two, just kind of clean it up. And I felt like it was hard to put down. I felt excited about it, and it gets me excited about projects in the future too. And so yeah, the final part of this did run into some issues with the array list. Inside of address book, could not for the life of me figure out why I wasn't able to print out my information for the array list. I was able to enter it, and what I ended up doing was I would go through, I'd create a system out println after every single scanner next line or scanner next int, and I would print that value. And I just followed that because I knew the information was getting in, but it wasn't getting out. Or wasn't being written. So I added all those printlns in there until I found where it stopped, and it wasn't making it out of the address book and going into the business or person contact. So that's a lesson I will not be forgetting anytime soon. Was able to do that. I went through the add contact method, ended up pulling that out, putting that in place, and was able to get that information successfully written, so that we have that in our Java I/O portion of it. The file input stream, file output stream. And I guess that's a good time to talk about Java I/O. The file input stream, file output stream is the final portion here, and that's letting us save the information. We also had a comparator interface which allowed us to sort that information. So the user is going to be able to manipulate that and use the information to be viewed as the user sees fit. I was wondering why we didn't use file reader, but it's my understanding that file input stream and file output stream is typically used on byte-oriented data like image data, audio, video. So I'm not sure why we're using it for text, but I guess I could ask that question later. So I think that covers everything here. Talked about my scanner, array list. We had primitive data types, OOP principles, We used our getters, setters, talked about Java I/O, comparator. Yeah, I think that about sums it up. Thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to the next project.